has the wherewithal to survive in this nirvana of death. They feed on the dead of the Sahara, uniquely adapted to the rigors of desert life. The vulture usually dies of heart disease after becoming overweight from the feast of carcasses. The landscape of the desert is dominated by towering sand dunes made from millions of years of ground-up bones. Another day ends in the Sahara, Earth's largest, most uncomfortable tomb.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, the freest show on the air. That's because you can call in and talk about whatever you want. The number is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE like freedom. And we're coming to you live from the U.S. Mariana Islands. It's Alex.
And Dave with his cup of coffee and cigar.
Yep, it's one of the freest places in America.
I'm not.
At least it used to be, right? There's nowhere really free in America right now, it seems.
The Gestapo reared its ugly head with me this week.
What happened?
So I was practicing social distancing.
There I was.
There I was practicing social distancing. I'm still working because I'm essential.
Hey, you're essential on Free Talk Live too.
Well, everybody's essential. I mean, let's face it. If you need a cup of coffee, that waitress at Denny is essential. So everybody is essential. So there I was. I was taking my dog and the boss's dog out to do their daily business, and also getting my vitamin D from the sun. Because sunlight is good for you when there's a pandemic going on. And so I went, across the street from my work. We're right on the beach. It's pretty nice. Across the street, they got some park benches, a nice pathway to go jogging on, and or if you're like me, walking slowly. So I'm just sitting there on a park bench, hundreds of feet from the nearest living soul, and the squad car comes up, and this policeman, hey, the beach is closed, you cannot be there. And I'm like, what? He goes, yes, social distancing. And I'm like, I'm not near anybody. And, he's going, Governor closed the beach, you cannot be on the pathway, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, and, seeing as I was armed at the time, I didn't want to force a confrontation with the police officers because, they wouldn't take kindly to, even though there's no law against carry in the CNMI, the cops don't really know what's going on with that. So
as far as they're concerned, there is.
Yeah, the better part of valor, so I basically looked at the guy. I made a big mistake by not taking his badge number and name, but live and learn. And I just told him, I said, well, seeing as, I said, well, I just want to inform you that, I may be talking to a lawyer, and you are violating my civil rights, and I am social distancing, but I will comply. So I got in my car, and less than a minute later, I drive across the street to go to the ATM, and there's like 25 people standing nut to butt in line, trying to get into the bank. And I'm thinking, this is okay for people to be within, a couple feet of each other. Some of them had like those, surgical masks on, but, some of them didn't. But that's okay. And then I got my money out of the ATM, and I looked at these people, and I told them at the bank, I said, hey, guess what? You guys are okay, but me sitting on a bench hundreds of feet from the nearest living soul is not. That's social distancing according to the government. And I got in my car, and just for the hell of it, I decided, I wonder if the Costco is open. I go over to the Costco, people going in and out. So I photographed all this stuff, photographed the site where I was at, and I put it on my Facebook page, basically saying that this is really not about safety. It's about control. And the funny thing is like I've just been spending all week going through World Health Organization trainings and different DOT and OSHA trainings on how to handle
For your job, right?
Yeah, for my job. Yeah,
Which is what?
Well, I do a lot of hazardous waste work, and one of the contracts we're looking at getting is doing all the COVID-19 waste for the hospital and the quarantine centers, which are basically they've taken a couple of hotels over, and taking the waste and incinerating it at the airport incinerator. So basically, I'm kind of the guy who gives the training. To the personnel who's going to do this, so I'm getting my training to train the trainers, or what And I've handled medical waste for 12 years now as part of my job. It's not all that I do, but it's part of the thing. So it's like I'm actually one of the guys that has to make sure that the PPE is correct, the masks and stuff, and I'm actually trained to go into the hot zone. So here I am sitting here practicing the hell out of social distancing, and some cop just is enforcing some arbitrary rule that makes actually no real logical sense. This curfew to me doesn't really make sense because, so let me get this straight. If I'm
they instituted a curfew from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Yeah, so basically,
U.S. Mariana Islands.
So basically, I'm immune from cooties from dawn till dusk. But it's 7:01. I walk out my door, and I'm all of a sudden gonna get attacked by a disease.
Yeah, well, I would agree. In general, a lot of these policies don't make sense, and
Yeah.
I would give the government some credit for revising some of them. It's not often you'll see them reverse their position.
So you were telling me earlier that they open the beaches, which is good because a lot of people here need to fish to eat. You've got a lot of low income folks, and what's kind of neat, even though I'm not really a fan of the food stamp program, what's really cool is the bait and tackle shops. You can use food stamps to buy fishing gear. And you got a lot of people that go out there with their nets, and then they go out and they catch the little minnows, and then they go out further and they catch the reef fish and other fish, and they feed themselves that way. And I think it's a beautiful thing that people can actually go out there and fish to live. But when the governor closed the beach, they basically told these people who are on very low income, no, you can't eat. In fact, some of those guys I ran into at one of the parks before the cops showed up, and they were like, hey, governor's not letting us fish, and I'm hungry. So, I bought the guy a Mickey D's sandwich, which probably wasn't that good for him, but hey, it was something to fill his belly. I'm not bragging because I'm not trying to sit there and say how altruistic I am. I don't believe in altruism, but, when you can help a guy, I think it's a good idea if you can.
Yeah, show them who their real friends are, right?
Well,
the government.
You got to put the oxygen mask on your own face before you put it on the kid next to you in the airliner. So it's like if I see a person who's definitely.
Well, is that a good example? I know people like to use that, but I think most people when they hear that for the first time, they're like, "This doesn't sound right."
Well, it's like this. If you're a rich man, you're more able. I'm not saying you're not necessarily morally or obligated. That's up to between you and your Lord God. But, if I've got $100 in my pocket and somebody asks me if they could borrow $1, I'm more likely to do it than if I only have $10 in my pocket.
For sure.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that. But what I'm saying is these two older gentlemen, I've seen them fishing before. And I could tell that they were hungry. They just, like I'm more likely to give a bum $1 if he says, I need a beer, because I've bought homeless people food before and they've gotten mad at me because they wanted the money instead. But then you can discern and say, okay, well, maybe this guy really does want to eat. So, you go in, you buy him the food, and he's happy. So anyway, that's an aside. But yeah, I'm glad that the governor finally came to his senses, because I'm not the only one who's basically been, and I got on Facebook, I posted what I posted, and there's people here locally, they're like, well, what gives you the right to go out there? If you're out there, maybe people will start partying and blah blah blah. And I'm going, you're missing the point. If it's bad, if you have to social distance, why say it's not okay to be by yourself, but it's okay to be a foot away from each other in line at the bank? Well, you need to go to the bank. Well, some people
need fresh air, you need exercise, you need to walk the dogs.
Yeah. Who the hell are you to determine what my needs are?
Yeah. No, it makes a ton of sense. Are there any crazy policies in your area? Do you have any stories of interacting with the government in this lockdown? Let us know. The number is 855-450-3733.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit divvyproject.org. divvyproject.org. Do you want to work from home, get paid, and forward Liberty all at the same time? Free Talk Live is looking for account executives and appointment setters. If you've got a phone, a computer, internet connectivity, initiative, and a belief in the non-aggression principle, you're qualified. Earn up to $85,000 a year full-time, $25,000 a year part-time. Set your own hours, work from home, spread freedom. Join our team and work with one of the biggest leaders in the Liberty movement. Apply now at sales.freetalklive.com. sales.freetalklive.com.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at icagoldsilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556 icagoldsilver.com.
If you're looking for work, there's a piece of paper more important than your resume. It's the cover letter attached if you're snail mailing, or the email to which you attach your resume. Make it 4 short paragraphs. Paragraph 1, say that you're applying for work. The person you're sending to gets a ton of mail about all sorts of things. If you have a password, that's your first sentence. Tom Nelson tells me you and I should meet. Paragraph 2, what you do and how that relates to the opening. Be as specific as possible. Paragraph 3, why you want this particular job. I'm originally from Boston, so I know the market well. I have family and friends in the area, so this would be a homecoming for me. Paragraph 4, unless the job posting stipulates no calls, and I will call you to follow up. Thank you in advance for your time. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you receive the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, the freest show on the air. You can call in and talk about whatever you want. The number is 855-450-3733. It's Alex.
And Dave here.
And we're coming to you from the U.S. Mariana Islands, talking about some of the silly lockdown measures that are implemented and some stories we have. But first, I want to tell you about local.bitcoin.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposits, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. Local.bitcoin.com. So yeah, in the previous segment, we were just talking about how Dave had an interaction with the police. He was very far away from everyone else, sitting on a park bench with the dogs, smoking a cigar, minding his own business. The police comes up.
It was a Corona Italia by CAO, by the way. How ironic.
Yeah.
Sorry.
How punny. And the police comes within 6. Was he wearing a mask?
No, I wasn't wearing a mask.
No, was he?
No, he was not wearing a mask.
So
in fact, he exposed himself to my cooties if I had them.
Yeah. So he came. He saw someone isolated, not doing anything. He came within 6 feet of them. Both of you are not wearing masks. Mm-hmm. You have a nice conversation, exchanging some germs, and
Yeah, I mean,
gave you a good talking to.
Yeah, I mean, if I was persuaded,
for your own protection.
Yeah, for all he knows, I could have tongue kissed him. I mean, but I don't swing that way. But he wasn't that cute. If I was, but kind of dumpy looking. But anyway, yeah. But no, it was ridiculous. And I think about that whole term, like, if it saves just one life, it's worth it. Well, it's not. I mean. Automobiles, they have a formula for recalling cars, and if it's more expensive than the settlements that they're going to have to pay out, they don't do the recall. And the reason is because there are sometimes certain mitigating circumstances where, well, here's the thing.
It would save one life if everyone just stayed inside all day, never left their house, wrapped themselves up in bubble wrap. No one believes in this save one life idea.
And then people will still die because you got things like old age. You got, here I am with a cigar and a cup of coffee. I just ate a sausage McMuffin with egg, and I weigh over 300 pounds. I mean, the fact of the matter is coronavirus is probably the least of my damn concerns.
Yeah.
So it's like this.
When has the government ever cared about health before? Look at all the foods. Look at what they regulate and look at what they don't. Like, they're going to regulate everything, but they're not going to regulate McDonald's or trans fats or all these things.
The government made me sterile, for Christ's sake. I got radiated by a fire control radar in the Persian Gulf, and I used to play poker sitting on boxes of depleted uranium ammunition. They gave me anthrax shots that killed like several hundred people. I was given pyridostigmine bromide for like anti-nerve gas stuff, which later on was, caused neurological damage. They sent me to a war zone, for God's sakes.
They don't care.
My hand got crushed in a rope. The week before that, I saw a guy get decapitated by a snapped mooring line. That was very interesting. Who the hell creates these bioweapons in the first place? It's the frickin' governments. We wouldn't have this frickin' virus if it wasn't for mad scientists working for governments in some, Dr. Strangelove biosafety lab. And they want to sit there and tell me that sitting on a park bench is dangerous. Yeah. I just, for unlawful carnage, them.
How dare you?
How dare you?
As Greta would say.
Your children should be in school right now.
Well, let's hear what Larry has to say. Larry, are you here?
Hey, I'm here, but, I'm looking at this, and I've been looking here in the state of Indiana to try to find how many people died during February through March of last year, and the statistic is not available. So what they're doing is every time somebody dies, they wait a little bit and then say Corona killed them. They have got people in this town really freaking out. And what the dangerous thing I seen yesterday, guys, down at one of our largest homeless centers, there's officers down there in new uniforms, black pants and blue tops with different kind of logos on them, and they are over there surveying around, and they are driving the homeless out of the downtown area, driving them out. And it's so stupid when you look at it, because if you go in the supermarket, you're not 6 foot away from anybody that you are in contact with. The cash register, I went there today. I'm looking right at the lady, talking to her, giving her my money, tendering my money over, buying my stuff, handling my packages. And there is something sinister behind this whole situation, fellas. But I agree. But I think that some people that are hooked into the system, like these churches, the 501c3s, they are doing this. They are not having services, not because they don't trust in the Lord, but they're scared if they have services, their daycares will be taken away. Their voucher programs from the government will be taken away. So the churches are endeared to the government through their 501c3s. They can't say anything, and it's just a sham because, colored people, and I'm colored, right? They're taking it really hard, too, because they are prone to go along with anything that white people tell them. They are wearing masks. They're calling in, trying to get off from work because they're scared of the coronavirus, when what they really want is to be laid off so they can get unemployment plus that $600. So I don't know. I don't know if everybody, just because of their skin color, wants. There's a lot of hardworking people out there. I mean, I used to work in the inner city in Detroit, and I can say that most of the people that I worked with they want to work, man. So I mean, I don't think that's a good generalization. But there are some.
There's a lot of honky mofos out there. A lot of white people who are lazy.
I live right down amongst them.
Yeah, so but you're talking about policies, like, for example, I don't want to be narcissistic here, but in our situation here, our governor Ralph Torres, against the advice of a lot of people, allowed this marathon to go on March 14th. Now, this marathon had a lot of people from Korea. I'll get to the end of the story later.
Larry, do you want to stay on the line?
I'll stay on. Sure, I'll do it.
Yeah, thank you, Larry.
All right, this is Free Talk Live. If you want to call in like Larry and tell us your stories, the number is 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you receive the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at AnyPayInc.com. AnyPayInc.com.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at marketfreetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. Marketfreetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, marketfreetalklive.com.
Free Talk Live.
Where did you get this right to tell me what I can do in my business? Where do you get the right?
I support private property.
No, you don't.
You're a liar. You don't understand
I'm a liar?
it. You're either a liar or you don't
you
understand
got
what
your
private
house.
property is. One or the other.
Your house is private property.
Yeah, my business
But
is
as soon as you
too.
open up a business to
It
the
is
public. Now it's
open
not
to the
private.
public.
As far as I'm concerned.
Well,
That's just an
you
opinion.
can redefine property if that's what you want to do. Where do you get the right to tell me what I can do in my business?
My lungs. So when they pass
Right.
a law,
The
if
government-
you
has
pass a
lungs,
law,
sir.
you're not
The
allowed-
law. You just
I'm
pointed
being
it out.
silly. I'm being silly.
Right, the
You know
law.
what I
You're
was-
being
you
a
know what I
Nazi.
wanted-
You're absolutely right. The law is what gives you the right. The law is a bunch of words written on paper by liars and thieves, and you're willing to use that force that they have to reach your own ends. When you're willing to do that, then anybody can do anything to you.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Should you be able to earn an honest living free from senseless government interference? The Institute for Justice thinks so. That's why we've spent years defending hard-working men and women from pointless government regulations. Nationwide, IJ has created opportunity by reducing government power, but there is still more work to be done. Visit our website today at ij.org. Let IJ take care of the government so you can take care of your business.
What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi, my name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, the freest show on the air. The number to call in is 855-450-3733. The phones are lit today. We have a caller on hold right now. We're going to get back in just 1 second. First, I want to tell you about the AnyPay Ambassador Program. Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now, with AnyPay, you can earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you will receive the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com. So we're going to go back to the phones. Larry, are you still here?
Yeah, I am. We got the rest of your story then?
Yeah. So another thing that cheeses my cracker about this situation, okay, here's the thing. Like I've said before, I don't necessarily believe that this is like the Andromeda strain that's going to kill us all. I mean, yeah, let's practice some social distancing and wash your hands and be cautious.
All the things you should normally do.
Yeah. But the governor, okay, in his infinite wisdom, and I'm mentioning this in part because a lot of my friends are going, give him both barrels, my friend from Boston, Jay, if he's listening, he was like, "Yeah, give that SOB both barrels. He's a dumb, whatever." So Governor Ralph Torres on March 14th allowed the Saipan International Marathon to go through. Okay, now a week later is when they had this stupid curfew start and they had all this stuff, lockdown. But the thing is so we bring in a ton of people, mainly from South Korea, where they're having where they're having massive outbreaks of this stuff. And then now they decided, oh my God, it's Plague Island now, because we got I guess we had 8 cases and one person who was 70 with a heart condition died. So it's Plague Island now, when we could have basically shut the airport down and not let anybody in, because I don't know about you, but I think islands are actually pretty good quarantine zones because, geography. I learned that when I was in kindergarten. Actually, I figured that out earlier. Hey, Mom, do you think anybody gets... That's why they have leper colonies on islands, for God's sake. Anyway, go ahead.
Hey, one more thing. Hey, I think that what's happening is the governors have their states in such a bad deal. They're always giving incentive packages to tramp corporations to come within their jurisdiction and work for nothing and just practically pay them. And then when the incentives run out, they run out, right? So what's happening is their deficit spending and their bond issues, City of Indianapolis, over the last 3 years, over $5 billion in municipal bonds to private corporations. Now, pretty soon, your bond rating's going to go down, and that principal's going to get called in.
We don't have bonds here.
Yeah, we're lucky.
Our bond rating is non-existent.
We just suck off the federal teat here.
Yeah.
That's what this is all about. Because the more cases you have, the more money you get. Just like the guy in New York. What's his name? The mayor of New York, De Blasio.
De Blasio.
He is so funny. He's begging. Somebody needs to pour a bucket of Porta-John slop on him. And the Charles Como guy, talking about he went through it and how messed up he was and stuff. Somebody needs to have him arrested because he's doing nothing but lying. I mean, these people are talking about, oh, you can do it. He can do it. He's a multimillionaire. He float right through it, but somebody's losing their job and told not to come in to work with no money. That's a bad deal. And I think, but you know what they're saying? Well, if these clowns will go for 9/11, we can do anything on them. So we just need to think about what our government is capable of, because there's nothing too dirty, fellas.
I appreciate the call, Larry. Thanks so much.
Well, here's the thing. You make a good point. For example, you got to also remember, who's in control of the government. I think Trump is a good guy myself, personally. I think he's trying his best. But you got all of these people that ran 9/11 in the deep state, what they call it. Yes, I'm a conspiracy buff. I don't call myself a conspiracy theorist. I consider a conspiracy researcher, because a lot of the stuff has come true. But you talk about state and local governments. One thing I do respect about what Trump is doing is he is letting the local governments kind of have a free hand, because constitutionally that's the right thing to do.
And I think that's a huge thing to bring up, right? You look on TV, the hero Cuomo. He's the hero of Corona.
But he's sitting on all these respirators.
All he does is complain. What has he done, right? His colleague in California, Gavin Newsom, he's acquired 33 million masks, while Cuomo is complaining all day to his brother on CNN, having it's kind of weird when the two of them are on, oh, mom said to say hi, playing their little games and creating some drama and, campaigning for 2024, basically. Some of the other governors are actually doing what they're supposed to do and acquiring supplies instead of just saying, Trump's not giving us enough.
Unlike K-pop videos, I can't watch the Cuomos.
That's fair.
But when I watch K-pop videos, I turn it on mute and I just kind of, never mind. Sorry.
Reveler, are you there?
Yes, Reviler. Hello, gentlemen.
How you doing, Reviler, down in Florida?
Where are you at in Florida?
That was a great caller earlier. But anyway, first of all, I just want to say I hope that Como and I hope that Kathy Griffin both die slowly and painfully of corona. What I want to talk about, there's a white nationalist that recently turned pro-diversity, and wanted to talk about Jewish power structure briefly and how it relates to you libertarian people.
Okay. Well, we're willing to hear you, even if we don't necessarily agree, because we're Free Talk Live.
Right.
Let me go get a
No,
bagel.
I know you guys don't agree, so that's okay. So that's one reason I like listening sometimes. But anyway, so at least you guys have the cojones to, talk to people like me, which hardly anybody does, and then they wonder why Brenton Tarrant and stuff happens, so it's the St. Tarrant. Anyway, so there's this white nationalist guy, former white nationalist named Matthew Heimbach, long story short, and this guy ran one of the most successful white nationalist organizations in modern-day history called the TWP, blah, 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 infighting, he screwed it up, whatever. Anyway, fast forward to one day ago, so my Telegram groups and stuff were buzzing with this, with all the nationalists we're talking about. Anyway, he's basically working for a proto-Jewish organization now, and I'm sure they paid him. So, and I have it on good authority that he bottoms for transgender women. So Miss Aria DeMezzo, if she's looking for another boyfriend, she's found it. So what do you gentlemen make of that? He's a traitor. He's a scumbag. What do y'all think?
I don't know anything about this person, so I can't comment.
Yeah, I will say that every man has their price, and the price has been plummeting for decades, right? It used to be that people, they had a sense of honor and duty and dignity, and they were going to do what's right. But it seems in today's world, you're taught as a kid, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. You have like Barry Bonds, A-Rod, all the like masters of the universe. They're like insider trading, and that's like what's cool. These politicians, professional liars, they're cool.
Can I ask a question? Because this is like terminology. I think the language has been hijacked and switched around since I appeared in the bearded Spock universe we live in. Where I grew up, words meant different things. What exactly, in your mind, is a white nationalist? Just out of curiosity.
Me or your co-host?
No, I'm asking anybody out there because, well, here's the thing. I'm 75% Caucasian myself. I'm part Cherokee Indian, so technically, I guess I'd consider myself white. And I love the United States. I believe in the core democratic values of our founding fathers, and I love my country enough to have gone and served in it. So I would say I'm a nationalist, but I don't necessarily use that as a way to be prejudiced against other people, I guess. So I just wonder what white nationalist really means.
Thank you for the call. So yeah, is Dave a white? Dave is a white man who loves his country. Is he a white nationalist? Call in and let us know. The number is 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
He learned to pitch in your backyard. Now his team's coming over to celebrate their high school championship. So you need to patch those bare spots fast. Pennington One Step Complete has a revolutionary formula that repairs bare spots in only 2 weeks or less. Pennington's been trusted since 1945, and now it works even faster. One Step Complete from Pennington. Honest green. Get your lawn ready for any occasion. Head to your local retailer to pick up One Step Complete.
When you have a pain in the neck, a real pain in the neck, back, shoulder, or legs, you now have 2 convenient choices to get fast relief without taking another pill. Because now, Sunny Bay heating wraps and pillows are available at both Amazon and Walmart. Yes, see Sunny Bay's 4.5 to 5-star customer reviews on Amazon.com or Walmart.com. Our made in the USA microwavable heat wraps, heatable neck pillows, and extra large body wraps are designed better for perfect support where and when you need it. Even while driving, Sunny Bay wraps will not burn and stay balanced to provide soothing hot or cold therapy to help treat temporary or chronic pain. And the best part? Sunny Bay quality products start at under $20. Join thousands of happy customers and see why Sunny Bay products have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy. It's easy. Click Amazon or Walmart and search today for Sunny Bay.
She used to play hide and seek in your backyard. Now she's getting married in it. So when you see a bare spot, you need something that patches it fast. Pennington One Step Complete has a revolutionary formula that repairs bare spots in only 2 weeks or less. Pennington has been trusted since 1945, and now it works even faster. One Step Complete from Pennington. Honest green. Get your lawn ready for any occasion. Head to your local retailer to pick up One Step Complete.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, the freest show on the air. You can call in and talk about whatever you want. The number to do so is 855-450-3733. And we have a caller on the line who is maybe a white nationalist, maybe not. We'll talk to anyone. We'll hear their points. We'll give feedback. We'll discuss. If you have something you want to discuss, you can call in. Hello? Caller, are you still there?
Yeah.
So we have some other callers on the line, but we don't want to make you think that we're cutting you off, so just give us your definition of white nationalist real fast, and maybe we'll talk about it for a few seconds before we head on to the next call. So what is a white nationalist?
Okay, so a white nationalist is essentially it's a form of camaraderie based upon genetic lineage. But what I just want to say really quick is that I'm not a white nationalist. I am a white nationalist sympathizer. I'm like a cross between a fascist and a libertarian. I know that sounds weird, but I just want to tell you guys that, why? I just want to ask, why is it that Israel, gets a wall, but if we can't have a wall because that's racist? So if you look at the power structure of the state, and it's not that every Jew is bad, but a lot of these Jews at the top are buttholes, and they import these Muslim fundamentalist buttholes and these 68 IQ Somalis that rape white women and help cuck white people, and maybe they belong in ovens. Thank you.
Well, I think I can answer the why does Israel have a wall and we don't.
And I would say many people at the top are bad regardless of which group they're from. But continue.
I think because the Israeli government doesn't give a damn what other people think of them, whereas we got a lot of people in the U.S. government who are into political correctness and who are worried about getting elected. So I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying I think Israel is like the honey badger. They don't give a S with a hit.
Cool. Well, thank you for your call. It's always interesting to hear different perspectives. Next, we'll go to Dan in Michigan. Are you there, Dan?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's on your mind?
Well, it doesn't have to be about nationalism, but does it?
Hey, where in Michigan you from?
It can be about anything you want. It's Free Talk Live.
Where in Michigan? Jackson? Oh, okay. I've been there many times. I miss the Space Center. I used to go there all the time.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Yeah. I grew up in Westland.
I grew up in Livonia. Cool.
I went to Livonia Public Schools. I used to live on Merriman and Joy area.
That's where, right by my sister. She lives on Grandin. That's unbelievable.
Okay, awesome.
Isn't this sweet?
Hey, man, I almost, it's like a reunion, man.
Yeah.
I feel the love.
Pardon the language.
Yeah, I didn't hear that,
Anyway,
so.
All right. In defense of Israel, the Jews got a wall because they're surrounded by enemies on all sides, for one thing. Anyway, that sort of ties in to what I want to ask a question about cryptocurrency. And also,
Alex is the man.
I'm a little nervous here, so bear with me. That a lot of things going on in the world, I didn't call it preach. I just called to throw out there that a lot of the things happening in the world today are tied into Bible prophecy and the dictatorship of the one world government, Antichrist, beast, and all that. But my question is if, okay, so let's say all of a sudden they take over all the money and you got to take the mark of the beast, and then what would be safer, having cash or cryptocurrency? Because they could always shut down the internet too. It's sort of out there.
You can send cryptocurrency over ham radio. So it's not as simple as just shutting down the internet. And keep in mind, it's almost impossible to shut down the internet. It's just that if two computers are connected, you have an internet. So to shut down the internet, you need to cut all of the cables everywhere. And that's nearly impossible. What you could do, and what a lot of dictatorships have done before, is they'll disconnect to the rest of the internet. So say you're in some third world country with a strong leader, like Sudan or something. Maybe they unplug their connections to all the neighboring countries. They tell their internet service providers, disconnect from other countries. That is possible. But to disconnect everyone around the world is nearly impossible, because you can just run a cable yourself. Now you have the internet back up again. There's satellite internet. There's so many different mesh nets and other technologies. So I wouldn't worry about the internet being shut down, especially when you can do ham radio and other ways to transact, Bluetooth, tons of others. But the question I would ask is what would the price be, right? What's your goal? Are you trying to have a store of value? And if we're talking about internet being shut down, I don't know how good a store of value something like Bitcoin would be, because this is a pretty apocalyptic world. There's probably some kind of radioactive war, nuclear thermal winter, like that kind of stuff. In that world, what's a good store of value? It might be bullets. It might be cigarettes. It might be beer.
I got
so
cigarettes.
It's hard to say. So I would say I wouldn't worry too much about those scenarios. What will happen to Bitcoin? What will happen to dollars? If it's getting that bad, then just worry about supplies to survive. In terms of what we're facing now with the potential for a massive inflation and other economic damage, I think that's a better question to ask, is what should you do then? And I know there's a lot of anti-dollar sentiment, but I think based on the empirical evidence, the dollar is sort of the safe haven currency of the world. If you're in China, you're in euros, you're in any other currency in the world right now, you need to have some kind of fiat currency to pay your bills. Dollars are the currency of international settlement. So if you're importing stuff, you're probably paying in dollars anyways. So more and more people will convert to dollars so they don't get crushed with their domestic inflation. And that will help, even though we're printing money here. If every country is printing money and everyone's running to the safest currency, that has the potential to stabilize the dollar. So I think a dollar collapse in the short term isn't especially likely. But in the long run, there will probably become a point where people say, I don't know if the government can pay us back in 30 years. These 30-year treasuries, I don't think they're sustainable. And as the 30-year treasuries become unsustainable, and then the 10-year, and as it gets lower and lower, people are worrying, will the 2-year be sustainable? I think that's when you'll see dollar pressure. But in the next 6 months or so, I think there's pretty much zero chance of a dollar collapse. Even inflation. With $20 oil, everyone's losing their jobs. There's going to be a ton of housing availability. I don't think there's going to be a ton of inflation at all in the U.S. So I'm not sure if that answers your question.
Yeah, I think you answered it well. I started listening to you guys just a little while ago. I got hooked on your show. I really liked a lot of what you guys got to say, and you're informative. And I just one other thing about the coronavirus. Our governor shut our schools permanent for the year and moved everybody up a grade. Even though they got it, there's some kind of lessons they got to keep doing. Some lessons.
Yeah, I got some former colleagues.
Thanks for the call.
In the Detroit Public Schools who are doing something like that online. But hey, something I was just moved to say this, brother. You talked about biblical. You talked about what are you going to do in the mark of the beast kind of system. And here's the thing, man. Dictators may be able to shut off your connection to the World Wide Web, but they can never shut off your connection to the Lord. You are through whatever you want to call it, whatever religion you believe in, but there is a Holy Spirit that connects us to the divine. And I think that if in times of trouble, the ultimate currency is going to be faith and your spiritual discernment. And I think God moves people to do what they have to do to survive. And I think that if you are right with the Creator, and if you are actually willing to listen, I think that a lot of these things will take care of themselves, and you will act accordingly to do what's right. So I pray for everybody to have that spiritual discernment, have that spirit within them. We are not machines. We are men and women, and our Creator is an amazing Creator, regardless of what spiritual, what name you want to call him or her. The Creator's within all of us, and we can make it through. I mean, we are a hell of a resilient race.
That was a nice message there, Dave. Thank you.
Well, it's not coming. Tom, it's not coming from me, man.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. There's an interesting article on the Reason Magazine website about how...
Are you willing to stay on the line? We're about to head into a break.
Please. Please do. I want to hear this.
Well, yeah, we have Tom calling in from Hudson, New Hampshire. He's called in before. He's a pretty good guy. So, yeah, let us know. Do you have any thoughts? As you see, we're willing to talk to anyone.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had gotten involved sooner? Well, now's your chance to be part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream, for everyone to use it in everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that's as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more, and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
I'm crazy about My Magic Mud. This is the most important oral care product created this millennium, and I'm not kidding. We all have different opinions on politics and issues, but we all have mouths. And I want yours to be as clean as possible, with teeth as bright as they were meant to be. I will never be without My Magic Mud. It's a little surprising, but man, does it work. If you only listen to one thing I say ever, go to mymagicmud.com and get 20% off with code FTL. mymagicmud.com, code FTL.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,628, silver at $14.41, and Bitcoin is trading around $6,702. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, according to a new report from the New York Times, Americans bought nearly 2 million guns last month as the country slowly went into lockdown. Activist Post reports it's the second highest sales numbers ever seen in the U.S. for firearms, surpassed only by the January after then U.S. President Barack Obama's re-election, which was also when the Sandy Hook shooting occurred. And while more guns were sold in January 2013, the numbers are actually extremely close, with roughly 2 million guns sold during each time period. The data used in the report from the Times was based on the number of background checks reported by the FBI. So it's likely that the actual numbers are even higher, because background checks are not required in every state. The FBI has been tracking monthly gun sales in the U.S. since 1998. This week, U.S. President Donald Trump included gun stores, shooting ranges, and firearm and ammunition manufacturers in a list of essential businesses that can remain open during the lockdown. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. There were dramatic scenes at an airport in Shanghai, China, as U.S. agents hijacked a plane full of life-saving equipment, including 60 million masks, bound for coronavirus-stricken France. While the plane was on the tarmac, American agents managed to bribe locals into diverting the plane to the United States, plying them with cash. MinPress News reports it appears to not be an isolated incident. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau revealed that he had received similar reports of goods being seized and taken to the United States. Brazil, one of the U.S.'s most loyal allies, also broke with convention to criticize the Trump administration's pandemic gangsterism. President Trump spent weeks claiming that the virus was a liberal hoax, intended to dent his credibility, then downplayed the seriousness of the problem, before changing tack and blaming China for the thousands of dead. Amidst a COVID-19 outbreak, around 100 detained migrants at a private for-profit prison in Farmville, Virginia, have collectively gone on hunger strike, demanding their release on medical and humane grounds. MinPress News reports that's according to Sanctuary DMV, a volunteer organization helping immigrants in the Washington, D.C. area. Phone lines to the dorms have been cut, and visits have been suspended. Inmates claim that one dorm is under strict quarantine. The move comes in response to the inaction of Attorney General William Barr. Detainees at ICA Farmville had sent him a letter March 25th pleading to be released, but they received no reply. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
As Sao Paulo struggled to dig out after last week's devastating earthquake,
I'm just praying. I'm just praying and helping.
One group was left with no one to care for them.
There is nowhere for these homeless dogs to go. There is no food to give them. There is no clean water. These dogs are going to starve to death.
I have to do the humane thing. I have to put these dogs down.
O'Brady Shaw is the only journalist compassionate enough to do what has to be done.
Put down 50 or 60 dogs today? I didn't want to.
Let me help you!
But their fate would have been much worse if I hadn't done it.
It's better this way.
O'Brady Shaw goes where other reporters won't and does the jobs other reporters can't.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Gut Check with O'Brady Shaw. Live from Sao Paulo, tomorrow night, only on the Onion News Network.
This is Free Talk Live, the freest show on the air. You can call in and talk about whatever you want. The number to do so is 855-450-3733. We're coming to you live from the U.S. Mariana Islands, and it's Alex.
And the fully caffeinated Dave. I've got 6 cups of coffee in me now, and I'm ready for my morning.
Atta boy. We're going to go to the phones. Tom, are you with us?
Yeah. There's an interesting article in Reason Magazine. It came out on the 31st of March about how America could import countless more face masks if the federal regulators would get out of the way. Now, a more recent article says that the FDA will lift restrictions, sort of, and thereby toppling another pointless regulation. It seems that it takes like a couple of months for a company that makes a similar mask to get certified by the Food and Drug Administration. And if let's say you're manufacturing all these face masks in some other country and you want to export them to the United States, the federal government won't let you. It's like blocked. It's like a prohibited item because the company hasn't been certified to make them yet, even if they're making them for other countries and they have a good track record and everything. And the thing to remember about how this operates, the very bottom line of this is, if you were to import them into Mexico for transit to the United States, okay, and then you're going to bring them through the port of entry, then they would seize them, but you could simply go around the port of entry somewhere in Arizona or New Mexico and bring them to the United States, except that then you would be intercepted by the United States Border Patrol. So I don't know how many thousands of United States people have died already because of the United States Border Patrol. But let's put the blame where it actually lies. The United States Border Patrol has killed more United States people with this, just like they were killing the people, Hitler's victims during the Holocaust, who would have been able to escape into the United States.
Wait a second. How many people have died of coronavirus in the United States?
Oh, a few thousand, like 6,000 of them.
Okay, how many people did Hitler kill? How many people did Hitler kill? Okay, so so making a comparison between the Customs and Border Patrol officers and Hitler.
That wasn't his argument. He was saying that the U.S. didn't let in Jews during World War II.
Okay.
And
that's correct.
Now they're not letting in.
Hitler was burning the house down, and the United States was blocking the fire exit from the outside.
Oh, okay. So I misunderstood your statement. I just thought you're comparing coronavirus deaths because of these masks to the Holocaust, and I just thought that was a little bit weird. So no offense. Sorry about that, sir.
Yeah, I think the general point, though, is valid, that people are really going to start to see that these regulations are so dumb.
Well,
why can't you import masks from China?
Oh, it's exactly the point that I made at the beginning of the show. I'm sitting on a park bench by myself, hundreds of feet away from everybody else, and that's not okay. And the cops come up and harass me. Yet across the street, people are lined up nut to butt, like within a foot of each other at the bank. and that's okay.
Yeah, and then
enforced by the
they
state,
have-
by the way.
And yeah, I saw one yesterday. I was going about to go shopping at a supermarket, and they had a line of people waiting outside, and a cop and a store employee. One leaves, one can go in. One leaves, one can go in. It's because they had to keep their social distancing like that.
Yeah,
And,
but meanwhile, outside to get to the social distancing
They're
zone,
bunched up,
They're
right?
bunched up. Well, it's the same thing.
Not
with
really.
it was the same thing with the friggin' TSA. It's like, I'll be honest with you, I know people. A friend of mine had $5,000 in a cell phone stole from him by the TSA, but I don't think they've ever caught a damn terrorist. And if you really, 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 really wanted to be a bad guy, and you really, really, really wanted to do a lot of damage, you wouldn't necessarily have to, put a bomb on any plane. You could attack the TSA line to get on the plane.
Yeah, and the thing, what happened with the TSA situation? You were saying they stole $5,000.
Yeah, a good friend of mine. He was flying to China from here. He had an envelope with $5,000 cash, and he had a brand new iPhone for his wife. And we have a lot of tourists coming from and to and from China here. And on the flight out, TSA took his bag. Well, my friend's not Chinese, but apparently there's been reports of stuff going missing. But it's like if you're not an American citizen and you're leaving the United States, you fly out. I mean, how likely are you to prosecute the TSA, right? So anyway, so when he gets to China, after they took his bag away from him and everything, he finally lands in, I think it was Shanghai or someplace. He opens the envelope, and there's a $100 bill and a bunch of singles to simulate the weight of the money that was in his thing, and his iPhone was taken out of the box. And the only other people that touched his bag were the TSA. And he called the FBI. I don't know how that was resolved, but it's like I've read articles where not one frickin' terrorist has ever been caught by TSA, yet 400 some odd TSA officers have been arrested for stealing shit. I'm stealing stuff from the passengers on these planes. So it's like, the question has to be is all this security theater actually helping, or is it just security theater? And then, some people argue, well, you never hear about the success stories,
Yeah, thanks for the call. Next, we'll go to Brian in Edinburgh, Virginia. Are you there, Brian?
I sure am. I hate to bother you guys with this, but I have actually tried calling official channels from FEMA all the way down to my local health department with this. Everybody is screaming for respirators. And I'm used to run a medical supply business and a bit of a historian. You've seen them talking about the old polio epidemic where they were needing respirators. And they've had some pictures of these giant wards filled with polio victims in iron lungs. Mm-hmm. Now, iron lungs are not a type of respirator they use anymore. No one's manufactured them in about 50 years, I believe. They're expensive, they're hard to maintain, and they're clunky. And only the United States actually used iron lungs as such. Other countries bought a few and developed their own versions. There were several other versions. In particular, there was one from Australia. A gentleman was trying to help a kid that was needing it. He ended up becoming a major hero in Australia. He's known as Australia's Thomas Edison. He developed what's called the Both respirator. Now, these are negative pressure respirators, just like the iron lung, but they're built out of plywood and simple mechanical parts that you can have in a garage. Can be built by one person in about 24 hours. If you have a manufacturing facility, they can be manufactured quickly, easily, and with modern materials. Light plastics could do these. Vacuum cleaner parts could do this. I have tried talking to emergency management, FEMA, health department, can't get through to HHS. FEMA hasn't responded. My local emergency management people are like, we've talked and no one's listening. Same with my health department people. And these are simple to build. They're cheap and easy to do. There's also a bonus. One of the major problems with the modern positive pressure respirators that everybody uses is you have to intubate the patient and sedate them. With an iron lung, you don't. Okay.
Well,
this would take the weight off the nurses. You won't have to have skilled staff to intubate, and it's simple and easy to build. Literally, there's thousands of facilities that could build these by the hundreds and thousands a day, and yet no one is building them, and I cannot understand why.
I have an idea about that. Let's talk about it after the break.
What do you want to talk about? Call in, let us know. The number is 855-450-3733. Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org. Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, the freest show on the air. You can call in and tell us your thoughts. The number is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE like freedom. We got a caller on the line. We'll get to him in just one moment. First, I want to tell you about Divvy. Divvy, the next generation wallet, is coming. It's just a few taps, you'll be able to spend, earn, store, and exchange digital money in seconds. Divvy says you'll be able to send money around the globe in only a swipe and instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. There's no need to wait though, as Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with their multi-tiered master nodes, allowing anyone to earn by supporting the Divvy network. When the new Divvy wallet launches, because of Divvy's relationship with the Western Union, Divvy will be in 200 countries, including the United States. You can learn more at divvyproject.org. That's divvyproject.org. And we're going to go back to the phones. Brian, are you still here?
I sure am. Yes.
So please continue.
Basically, I'm just trying to get the word out about the BOSS respirator. It's available on Wikipedia. People can look at it. This is so important at this point. It's something they're saying that they're going to run out of respirators available in New York, or ventilators, I should say, in the space of the next 6 days. In 6 days, with the manufacturing capacity in that state, they could replace, well, they could double their capacity, I should say, quite easily.
Here's a couple questions that we have to ask. One, who manufactures these respirators? Two, how much do they cost? And, like how much damage to these people that make the respirators would a cheap alternative cause them?
There's no medical manufacturers that's made them in 50 years.
No. I'm talking about the ones that the ones that you're talking about replacing. So like for example, I've been.
Them?
Yeah, like here's the thing, like big pharma has a lot to lose. Like let's say this, and as I said, I've been following a lot of other news and alternative media, and for example, things like zinc, vitamin C, vitamin B, and this hydrochloroquine supposedly are like really good to like combat this thing, but hydrochloroquine doesn't have a patent anymore because it's been around forever. Zinc and vitamin C are like in Mother Nature, and it's kind of like big pharma may have a lot to lose if the solution is cheap and readily available.
There's a major problem with using several different things when you're dealing with this. If you go in with the hydrochloroquine, for instance.
Yeah, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not saying. I'm just reporting what I've heard.
Well, I'll toss it at you. I've got some of the technical background on this. The hydrochloroquine's an immunosuppressive, and it's good to a degree for blocking the cytokine storm that pops up when the cells start dying and the immune system starts attacking the lining of the lungs itself.
Okay.
It can be, but the timing has to be right. And if you immune suppress someone too early, you can actually just set them up for a bacterial pneumonia. And there are quite a few different bacterial pneumonias that have set in on COVID patients that are as destructive or more destructive than the viral pneumonia that they suffered.
Yeah.
So
and I'm only asking. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I'm not trying to give anybody any medical advice. I just want to make that perfectly clear. I'm not a medical doctor, and I would always follow the advice of a doctor. I'm just asking questions.
You would always follow the advice of a doctor?
Last time I went to the doctor, he said, there's no reason you shouldn't live another 30 to 40 years. You just won't enjoy it. But
about as bad advice you're ever going to get, but honest, really.
But what I'm saying is I'm looking at some of these drugs. Like, for example, I self-medicate for this thing by going out and getting sunshine, because I happen to know that sunshine is good for your immune system, and it helps improve your mood. And I know, like, fear and negative emotions can suppress your immune system. So for me, it's very therapeutic to sit and look out at the ocean and enjoy God's creation and just be like, this is nice. And then, and that's cheaper than any drug out there. But, it seems to me that, yeah. And then, like, another thing too, like, for example, vitamins are cheap.
Don't you normally do your ocean viewing with a cigar in your mouth?
Hey man, there's nothing. Well, it's a prayer. It's a prayer stick. I'm part Indian, and I use it as a religious sacrament. Matako Yeo.
A little warning on some of this, though. Some of the immune cells that you have that are attacking the COVID, using massive doses of antioxidants, for instance, that some people have suggested. Oxidants are the chemicals that the immune cells use to attack. You would actually, in some cases, be blunting the immune reaction.
Yeah. Well, I think
it's crazy. You have to find a balance point, and you really need a medical professional to help you with it.
Oh, I agree. But what I'm saying is, like, I'm just, like, wondering if some of, like, the companies, like, for example, the companies that make these expensive respirators, I wonder if they would try to, in cooperation with governments, suppress the building of these things, because they would. Because I mean, I've known it to be the case. I work in the environmental field, and I know that a lot of regulations get passed that, like, ExxonMobil could, like, no sweat, they could violate the heck out of a regulation because they have billions of dollars. A $2 million fine for, like, an oil spill would be just like, cost of doing business. Whereas Joe's Auto Shop down the road, they have a 10-gallon oil spill, a couple $1,000 EPA fine could put them out of business. So, like, basically a lot of regulations are actually, I wouldn't say intentionally designed, but we have things called lobbyists.
Oh, no, they are designed because, unfortunately, a lot of the regulations are written by the industry groups and handed to the government committee.
No,
you know that?
really?
I know that. Worst case, though, in this, they have the emergency regulations that are suspending the normal approval by the FDA. Nowhere in there does it allow for a negative pressure respirator system at all.
Yeah. Well, I think in an emergency, we should have the freedom also to try. I mean, like, I look at it this way: if I've got, like, cancer, for example, and some guy has a crazy, unorthodox treatment, and I'm going to die anyway, I should have the right to basically decide to try something that may be conventional.
Why do you
government
say you
people
should? You do. You have the right to do it.
Yeah. Well, I shouldn't have
but it
men
took about
with
65 years to get the law to allow it.
Yeah. I shouldn't have men with
flat out
automatic weapons keeping me from doing it.
What do you think about the current medical system? Call in, let us know. 855-450-3733. Free Talk Live.
When I adopted her, she was a mess. Scabs, itching, licking, missing fur, hot spots, a thin, dull coat. So I take the dog to the vet for the standard run-of-the-mill tests and treatments. No results. I hear your advertisement on the radio.
DINOVITE.com.
So I get the 5-pound box of Dinovite and the Lico Chops within a 4-week total. Instead of a German Shedder, I have a German Shepherd. Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy happy dog for life because she gets fed dynamite. And the results, they're just incredibly outstanding. And she loves it. When you rescue a dog, you have to do the right thing. You've got to feed them right for life. Do the Dynavite. Dynavite for life.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
859-428-1000. DINOVITE.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, the freest show on the air. That's because you can call in and tell us about whatever you want. The number is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE, like freedom. And we have a caller on the line we'll get to in just one moment. First, I want to ask you, have you heard about Intercoin? Intercoin is working to make crypto go mainstream. It is designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. If you missed your opportunity to get in on Bitcoin from the start, then here is your chance to join the next revolution in money. Check out intercoin.org, and if you like what you see, pick up some of those coins for yourself. Just as the internet is a global network that connects local networks, Intercoin is a global currency platform that enables communities around the world to issue and manage their own currency, so they may circulate it among their local population. Intercoin enables fintech innovation on the local community level, leading to stronger communities, greater sustainability, less poverty, and even more productivity. Check out intercoin.org. Our listeners must know that Free Talk Live received $40,000 worth of tokens by Intercoin Inc. for advertising. And now we'll head to the phones. Chad, are you there?
Hello. You know, the thing is, I want to say we can talk about all this information on drugs, and the real thing we should be looking at is vitamin D. I mean, taking 2,000 international units of vitamin D a day can help, and it can really, truly help cure not cure, but for lack of better words, prevent the coronavirus.
Are you saying D as in Delta or B as in Bravo?
Well, vitamin D, Delta.
Okay, yeah. That's why I get sunlight all the time. I agree.
And it's weird that it's almost, the recommendations are a little peculiar, right? We talked last week and earlier today about some of the weird ones. Don't go outside to exercise. They shortened the store opening hours in the CNMI, the U.S. Mariana Islands, where we are, from whatever you wanted to 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then a few days later, they realized, wait a second, if we shorten the store hours, everyone will be at the store at the same time. It'll be more crowded.
Right.
And I think some of these other policies that they're doing, they almost seem counterproductive. Like they're trying to, let's tell everyone to crowd inside with all of their family, have all the kids at home, and just like pack the generations together, as if there's not downsides to that. So I feel...
And then stay inside where you can't get vitamin D from the sun, where it's free.
Yeah. And
well, we need to look at this, and going outside does not provide enough vitamin D, and I really think Dr. Fauci needs to work on better in getting the word about vitamin D. Sadly, big pharma, but they are trying to help cure this virus and make a little bit of profit, which is their right.
Well, why don't we just focus on being healthy in general? I hope if we can get one takeaway from this coronavirus, panic, it's, if you're panicking, you're not healthy enough, right?
Yeah.
You can always be more healthy, and that's not to say you should, stress out. Oh no, I forgot to take my vitamins. Oh, I didn't get my 10,000 steps in. But Americans are not healthy. The average developed country person, who is healthy around the world? Very few places are healthy, and some places are not as like obese, which often we think of as like weight as a measure of health. But you can have a very healthy BMI, body mass index, and be not considered obese, overweight, or underweight. Like you're just right where you're supposed to be, but still be extremely unhealthy because all you eat is ramen noodles.
And you could be very fat, and you can still be very healthy, or you could be very skinny.
I would disagree with that.
No, there are some people out there that actually they could be a bit fat, but they've got good blood pressure, good cholesterol, and they can function.
Well, it just depends.
There's different body types out there.
The thing is health. I mean, it's a factor in the coronavirus, but at the same time, you cannot change health now. So you have to do your best to stay quarantined.
Well, why can't you?
Well, yeah, you could exercise, but not too much. You can change your diet. Yeah, I agree.
There's no way you're going to lose 1% of body mass index.
Well, it depends how long they lock us up, right? I mean,
you could still do sit-ups, for God's sake. And you could still do sit-ups.
You cannot lose 1% of body mass index in one week.
Not 1 week, but we could be locked up for, at this rate, it's indefinite, right? If they lock us up for 6 weeks, there's a lot you could have done during those 6 weeks to get more healthy, but based on the designs of the policies and what we're seeing, it seems like most people are like, how many hours of Netflix can I watch in one day?
Right.
How stressed out can I get from doing a CNN marathon?
Yeah, instead of getting on the exercise bike or doing push-ups, people are sitting on the couch. But, it's...
And you don't need a gym, you don't need a bike, you don't need anything. Just run in place, walk in place, pace, push-ups, sit-ups. Just get your heart rate moving and get some exercise. That will both help you mentally, get some endorphins flowing, relax yourself a little bit, and you're doing something, right? I think a big problem people face is they're trapped inside. What can I do? I'm just like waiting to die. That's like what the news is basically making you feel. It's
Turn off the TV and stop listening to these people too.
Well,
I think is a good thing.
If I may,
read a book.
If I may ask, why would we listen to you if we're not going to listen to the TV?
Hey, listen to whatever you want to listen to, man.
What channel are we on TV? I haven't seen us yet.
But that's what I'm saying, is we need the radio, we need the news media to keep us sane, and we need stuff like that.
I don't know about what news media, right?
I've been watching old episodes of Dragnet myself.
I think the mainstream news is, they're a business, right? And they're in the business of getting clicks and attention. And we've all realized that, the best way to do that is to cause an emotional reaction. Fear is probably the best one, but also outrage, right? Let's get everyone outraged. The government, there's not enough ventilators. That gets you scared and outraged. How dare they not prepare for this? Why are we spending all this money on taxes? And they just repeat that over and over and over again. I don't think that's productive.
And you also want to remember.
Speaking of taxes, sorry to cut you off, but
Theodore
Roosevelt, he lowered taxes.
He was also a bad mother. Yeah, Teddy Roosevelt was a cool guy.
I know, but he wasn't a mother, he was a father.
Yep. But what I'm saying,
I love Free Talk Live.
Well, Teddy Roosevelt was cool. I even had an action figure of him at one time. Go ahead. Sorry, he's one of my favorites.
Yeah, so thanks for the call. But yeah, I think this general theme is important to keep in mind is, what should you be doing? What's the best way to make use of this time, right? The government has basically locked us all inside and said, you can't go outside, you can't run your business, you can't visit your family, you can't go to church. There's very little you can do. And I think that's pretty depressing and creating anxiety and suffering. And I just think it's important for people to realize that, there is a lot you can do in this time period. You can reach out to your family by phone. You can read your, spiritual books in person. You can read books to improve yourself. Don't get caught up in all of this, fear and panic and just watching the news 24/7, watching the ticker go up. Another person died, and just your heart rate is constantly elevated.
Well, and another point is, and I'll be honest, I'm not going to hide my my political leanings. I am like 100% positive that a lot of these media outlets out there have it in for the current president, and they're going to say anything they can to try to affect the next election. And so you got to remember, what their point of view is and what they're pushing. So I think a lot of that is politically motivated, and it's sick actually, because the fact of the matter is, in an emergency situation like this, we should look at what the common good is and what we really need to do in order to make it through this as a unified country. But no, these guys, they've got it in for El Presidente, I think, and they're going to do whatever they can and say whatever they can to basically affect the election.
Yeah, it's pretty outrageous. Do you agree? Do you think the media is attacking the president, or are they objective journalists just doing their duty? Call in and let us know.
I got a story.
855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Jake was in big trouble with the IRS. He owed how much?
$92,000.
Ouch. The IRS left no room for Jake to breathe.
They put a lien on my house, took all the money out of my bank account, took money out of my paychecks. So it was a nightmare.
He needed help fast.
I figured that all these companies were the same until I called Federal Tax Management. You could just tell they knew what they were talking about. Right then and there, I felt like I had some hope.
Stop the liens, levies, and garnishments fast and qualify for one of several special IRS programs that could reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. So, how'd it go for Jake?
They did what they said they would do. They came through for me. I ended up saving an unbelievable amount. I was so jazzed. I was extremely happy.
If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, take Jake's advice.
Give Federal Tax Management a phone call. If they help me, they can help anybody.
Call the Federal Tax Management Hotline now. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625.
Attention all radio listeners who still need food supplies. If you've thought about the implication of food-related supply chain disruptions and are concerned about the coming quarantines, this will be the most important message you will ever hear. Here's why. In the next few days, all Americans will face extremely hard choices. If we've learned anything from China and Italy, it's that quarantines and enforced lockdowns are just a few days away here in the U.S. Listen, while dehydrated food is becoming scarce, you can still get enough open pollinated heirloom seeds to grow a 1-acre crisis garden. The truth is, growing nutrient-dense vegetables in the days ahead may actually be the single most important thing you do. Go to survivalseedbank.com and watch the new video to understand the nature of the threat. This could be life-saving. Lockdowns can last from 6 to 8 weeks. Get free bonus seeds, special quarantine reports too. Go to survivalseedbank.com. That's survivalseedbank.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. Live video of our key New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, the freest show on the air. You can call in and talk about whatever you want. The number is 855-450-3733. This is Alex.
And Dave.
And we're coming to you from the U.S. Mariana Islands. And yeah, for those of you who don't know, we're a territory of America, so part of the country in Asia Pacific near Guam.
Yep. We're about an hour... Well, we're about a 45-minute flight from Guam and about an 8-hour flight from Honolulu and about a 4.5-hour flight from Tokyo. So we're way out in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
Or somewhere.
Yeah. You know, it's either...
We're near the rift where the kaijus come from.
Yeah, we're right near the Mariana Trench.
Yeah.
So, interesting location, and interestingly... We're going to become pretty isolated soon.
Yeah.
The United, one of the main carriers here, the last flight is tomorrow.
Yep.
And they're, suspending flights temporarily. There are some options, cargo planes and medical evacuations and all of those, but general passenger travel has become heavily restricted, which is, how do you feel about that?
Well, I've got mixed feelings. It's like, okay, if this is indeed like the global pandemic, then I understand people, as long as they don't cut off supplies, I think we should be all right. I am very upset about the threat to our civil liberties, and I think the Founding Fathers, they knew about pandemics back then, and they had diseases like tuberculosis and all these other things, but they didn't... say that when they wrote the Constitution, we can suspend those rights because somebody gets sick. So I think we have to balance things out. And me personally, traveling wouldn't be something I would do. And if you can keep foreign people who may have diseases out of the
foreign as in non-U.S. people, or just anyone not from the island?
like an island is a really good place to be in a pandemic. Like one of the reasons I moved here was because, let's just say, a zombie apocalypse scenario or some other thing happened. I'd rather be in an isolated area with only 40,000 people than in, say, Los Angeles. So there's benefits to being on an island. And I guess one of my earlier points that made me a little bit upset was they decided to lock down the entire island for us within our own island, yet like 2 weeks prior or a week and a half prior, we brought a whole bunch of people in from a country that had a raging coronavirus problem. So it's sort of like...
this is for the marathon.
Yeah. I would much
annual Saipan marathon.
Yeah, I would much rather be able to go.
Unlike all of those other marathons, we never cancel. That's
yeah. I would much rather have sucked it up and not had the Saipan marathon and kept people out of our island who would be carrying a disease so that we could just go on life as normal here. Than to let people in and then all of a sudden freak out. It's kind of as stupid as governors of various states saying, we've got to let prisoners out of jail because they might get coronavirus, but if we see you not social distancing, we're going to throw your butt in jail. I mean, that's
to play
ridiculous.
Devil's advocate, isn't the cure worse than the disease, the economic damage?
I agree with you. I would much rather...
It wasn't having the marathon. And keep in mind, this was the 13th or 14th? So this was
the 14th, yeah.
This was before everyone's locking down.
Right.
And we had no cases. Where our biggest tourism markets in order are Korea, China, and Japan.
Yeah.
So we knew about Corona. Our Corona emergency declaration was in January.
Yeah.
So before Trump had even banned the Chinese from coming in, we had already declared a state of emergency.
Yeah.
We had no cases. Our tourism market was under severe strain because of all the Corona fear. So would it make sense to cancel perhaps the last big economic infusion, and who knows how long?
Well, I'm just saying, at least be consistent. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do agree that the cure may be worse than the problem. And
what was the
thing is,
what was the inconsistency here?
Well, if this is the death spore friggin' Andromeda strain that everybody's worried about, why let a whole bunch of people on the island who might have it, only to lock everybody down and take everybody's civil liberties a week later because we might get the Andromeda strain killer virus? See, that to me, it just blows logic away. I say,
well, I don't think that was their claim. Right?
Well, I just think that there's a lot of people out there just doing a lot of guesswork, and they're just panicking and they're reacting instead of being proactive.
Yeah.
And
that I agree with 100%. There is no plan. It's just you react. It's just reactive.
It's like a bunch of toddlers on cocaine with a carton of eggs, running around trying to do Jackson Pollock paintings or something. I mean, I don't know. That's a weird analogy. But, I'm on 6 cups of coffee right now, and I've been chewing on a cigar, so I'm a little, buzzed now. But the thing is, it is inconsistent. And
well, I don't know if it's inconsistent still, because there were no cases, and then there's cases, right?
Right.
We had tourists from those same regions for 2 months.
Well, there was no testing before that, too.
Yeah.
And as I had pointed out in previous shows, I was deathly ill in January. So were half the people I knew. And I'm guessing that there's a possibility that I actually had this disease already and just powered through it, like most people do. Like the people that died, like the one case that we had was a 70-year-old man who had heart problems, and he died of coronavirus. Now, who's to say he didn't die of a combination of those. And I got an article here from the Epoch Times.
Dave, don't you know anyone who dies and tests positive from coronavirus died of coronavirus?
Yeah, even if they're 68 years old and on dialysis, like the woman who died in Guam last week, or like half the people in Italy who were 85 years old. I mean, it's like I just read an article from the Epoch Times that basically says that almost everybody who's died from corona is over 60. Now, yeah, I'm sure you got like a couple of 30-year-olds, but
and they absolutely loved on the news. Look at this young person in the hospital.
Yeah,
and he has no, whatever conditions. They always phrase it in an interesting way, and then you find out more. It's like, oh.
And meanwhile, you look at how many people have died from automobile accidents this year. I mean, 10 million babies were aborted this year, okay? And 6,000 people have died from corona. I mean, why? I'll say one thing. Since they've closed Planned Parenthood, they've saved a lot more lives than coronavirus. I mean, and as I said, I'm not anti-abortion. I'm not saying you're a bad person if you've had one. I'm just saying that if you've had an abortion, you've killed more people than my AR-15. But the thing is how many people have died from the regular flu? How many people have died from drug overdoses? How many people have died from medical malpractice? How many people have died from slips and falls? How many people have died? And the thing is what really makes me mad is they're acting like anyone dying is like such a bad thing. Well, people die every day. I'm not saying that we should not care.
Thousands and thousands die every day.
Life is a terminal disease. The second you pop out of your mother, you're going to die. I'm going to die. I've accepted. I've been dead. I've actually died for like 2 minutes. I had my hand crushed. I lost blood. I needed a blood transfusion. My heart stopped, and I was dead. And my soul was flying around the operating room, and I was looking at my body. And then when they pumped me full of blood, and then hit me with the defibrillator, I was back in my body. I've known other people who have been dead and come back. So it's like we're all going to die. It's natural. It's part of life. I think there's something beyond this. But to sit here and lose our minds and freak out. I mean, yes, this is like a scary thing. Nobody wants to get like this pandemic virus. But at the same time,
let's look at the data.
Let's put it in perspective.
The statistics I saw were that in Italy, the hardest hit place, how many people are dying? If you look at the news, it seems like 100%. The statistics I saw is people over 80, the most affected demographic.
Yeah.
Only 25% of them died in Italy.
One of my best friends is 15. He's 79. I know he's going to die.
But 75% of people over 80 didn't die in a country like Italy. That's insane.
Yeah.
What do you think? Call in 855-450-3733.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had gotten involved sooner? Well, now is your chance to be part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream, for everyone to use it in everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that's as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more, and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,628, silver at $14.41, and Bitcoin is trading around $6,702. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, according to a new report from the New York Times, Americans bought nearly 2 million guns last month as the country slowly went into lockdown. Activist Post reports it's the second highest sales numbers ever seen in the U.S. for firearms, surpassed only by the January after then U.S. President Barack Obama's re-election, which was also when the Sandy Hook shooting occurred. And while more guns were sold in January 2013, the numbers are actually extremely close, with roughly 2 million guns sold during each time period. The data used in the report from the Times was based on the number of background checks reported by the FBI. So it's likely that the actual numbers are even higher, because background checks are not required in every state. The FBI has been tracking monthly gun sales in the U.S. since 1998. This week, U.S. President Donald Trump included gun stores, shooting ranges, and firearm and ammunition manufacturers in a list of essential businesses that can remain open during the lockdown. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. There were dramatic scenes at an airport in Shanghai, China, as U.S. agents hijacked a plane full of life-saving equipment, including 60 million masks, bound for coronavirus-stricken France. While the plane was on the tarmac, American agents managed to bribe locals into diverting the plane to the United States, plying them with cash. Minpress News reports it appears to not be an isolated incident. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau revealed that he had received similar reports of goods being seized and taken to the United States. Brazil, one of the U.S.'s most loyal allies, also broke with convention to criticize the Trump administration's pandemic gangsterism. President Trump spent weeks claiming that the virus was a liberal hoax, intended to dent his credibility, then downplayed the seriousness of the problem, before changing tack and blaming China for the thousands of dead. Amidst a COVID-19 outbreak, around 100 detained migrants at a private for-profit prison in Farmville, Virginia, have collectively gone on hunger strike, demanding their release on medical and humane grounds. Minpress News reports that's according to Sanctuary DMV, a volunteer organization helping immigrants in the Washington, D.C. area. Phone lines to the dorms have been cut, and visits have been suspended. Inmates claim that one dorm is under strict quarantine. The move comes in response to the inaction of Attorney General William Barr. Detainees at ICA Farmville had sent him a letter March 25th pleading to be released, but they received no reply. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
To help you understand how dangerous narcotics operations have persisted despite decades of bold efforts to completely mishandle the problem, we now present The Onion Explains, the drug trade. The cartels remain as powerful as ever. Experts say that the only solution is to eliminate the demand for illegal drugs by instead getting buzzed on common household products, like cough syrup. Not only do items such as nail polish remover and model glue get you ripped if you really breathe that in, they also help shrink the market for cartel drugs. Cartels would stand to lose billions if even a third of the people using their cocaine or methamphetamine instead huffed Freon, which will knock you right on your ass just as quickly. It's easy to get by cracking open an air conditioner. If enough people realize that keyboard cleaner will put you in a insane trance and that it's just sitting there right now in your desk drawer, the costly war on drugs could very well end tomorrow.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, the freest show on the air. You can call in and talk about whatever you want. The number is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE as in freedom. We're coming to you live from the U.S. Mariana Islands. It's Alex.
And David.
And yeah, we've been talking like everyone else about Corona, freedom. What's the current reaction like? What should be done differently? And one of the things that bothers both of us is how politicized all of this has become. You know, can we have a crisis without it being political? Mm-hmm. Everything is just being hijacked for political purposes. Can a single event occur without the radical leftists trying to get rid of Trump? Did you see they're already talking about doing a Corona independent investigation to get to the bottom of this response?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, let's... It reminds
Meanwhile,
me...
during the start of this, it was all impeachment, right?
Well, you know, and the thing is all this crap started while the impeachment was going on, and maybe had we not been so focused on trying to get the bad orange man out of office, maybe that orange man could have done something more to deal with this crisis that was emerging while they were obsessed.
Well, it's funny because there was a Corona briefing for the Senate, and only 12 people attended, I believe. And
because orange man bad.
Yeah, they're like, this is a distraction from impeachment, you know, it's just some trick. And it's like, you know, not everyone is as cynical and, you know, devious as you, that every single event is a trick or a redirection. So it's pretty scary that every crisis now has to be hijacked. It's Nancy Pelosi is like, how can we shove in some Green New Deal elements? The next bailout, we got to have environmental restrictions.
Let's fund Planned Parenthood with this COVID-19 bill.
Like solar panels, and it's like, how does that relate, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like this is a common thing. Break your leg and then sell you the crutch.
Exactly. Well, okay, so...
They're going to say, you know, we need Medicare for all and we need Green New Deal, and it's all because of Corona. But what's the connection here? How is socialized medicine worked in Italy? That's not to say that if Italy was private, there'd be no problems or vice versa. It's just that they act as if our policies are a fix-all. All you need to do is just let in some progressivism, some Green New Deal, and the world will be fine. If you don't, it's going to go extinct.
Well, meanwhile, it's governments that created the problem in the first place. If it wasn't for big government, we wouldn't have biowarfare programs. But that's just another thing. But here's another thing.
One theory of where Corona came from.
Well,
right?
I think one of the big.
Let's break that down first.
Well, I'll get into it later, but I wanted to really get into a point because a lot of people don't understand how federalism works. Now, I taught high school government for 10 years, so I'm a little familiar with this. But I also have been involved in disaster response on the local level. Like, okay, so here's the deal. We have a thing called federalism. We have 50 state governments and 5 territorial governments. We have a federal government that has a Federal Emergency Management Agency, EPA, all these other federal agencies that work in conjunction with state and local governments to respond to disasters. Now, if you look at something called the Incident Command System and you look at the way things are set up, you're supposed to have boots on the ground, on-scene command and control done by the most local level you can get because they're the most familiar with the community that's being served. Now, 2 years ago, we had one of the biggest storms ever recorded in world history hit this island, Super Typhoon Soudelor.
You too.
No, Soudelor was 2 years before that. So I've been involved with 2 typhoon recovery.
And typhoon is same thing as a hurricane. It's just the Asia Pacific name.
Yeah, it's the Asia Pacific name. Also, typhoons are bigger than hurricanes because the Pacific Ocean is a lot bigger than the Atlantic, and they tend to get larger and they tend to get a little stronger. We had sustained 213 mile an hour winds. My neighbor's house literally was blown down to the ground. It was a miracle only one person died during the storm. I mean, I
think
thought
it was a homeless person, right?
Yeah.
Sheltering in some kind of
I thought I was going to die. I live in a concrete building, and my dog, curled up on my bed with me, and I held her tight, and I said, well, it was a good life, God. Thank you for everything. And I thought my roof was going to collapse. And then my 2 neighbors whose window got blown in are standing there in their underwear, banging on my door, let me in, so it was fun. So there I was.
Did you let him in?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm a nice charitable guy. So in the months afterwards, working for an environmental consulting firm and being involved in these sorts of jobs, we got some good contracts with FEMA to help clean up the mess. And I was working directly, and this is, as I said, this is the second time in a decade that I had to do this. And so we worked with representatives from FEMA. We worked with representatives from the Coast Guard and the EPA to do various typhoon recovery work. And the way it works is you have the governor of the CNMI was sort of the honcho of everything, with our emergency management office working in conjunction with these federal agencies to get the federal money, to distribute the aid as needed. And a lot of this relies on the local government doing its job, like our police department had to do its job. The contractors that were hired had to do their job. And the FEMA and Coast Guard and EPA people were really, really all smiles about it because they looked at us and they said, man, you guys are Johnny on the spot. You guys are doing your job. And I'm like, well, no, you guys are doing your job. And I was really happy with the way Trump gave us the aid. Now, just a couple months before that, we had Maria hit Puerto Rico. And I said, well, hey, senior chief. I was talking to this old senior chief Coast Guard guy who's working side by side with me. I said, what happened? What was Puerto Rico like? Because he was in Puerto Rico. He goes, oh, man, the local government effed their people. I'm like, tell me more. And basically, he told me the story about how they were refusing to do their job in Puerto Rico, and that they were so partisan that they wanted to make Trump look bad. I mean, and this guy was an Obama voter who had met Obama and was talking nicely about Obama. And he wasn't a Trump fan, but he was just saying basically, yeah. And then you look at the recent news, okay, Puerto Rico governor's in trouble. The mayor of San Juan was busted for corruption. They had these warehouses full of aid that were held. And what do we have now during Corona? You got Governor Cuomo of New York whining about not enough ventilators. And what is there? There's a stockpile of ventilators in New York that they found. Well, what the heck, So what I was really angry because, I had a lot of friends on Facebook who have Trump derangement syndrome going on and on about how Trump hates brown people and Trump hates islands of brown people and here I am living on an island full of brown people. Okay, that is a commonwealth just like Puerto Rico is. And Trump was Johnny on the spot with us. And I think a big difference was our governor is a Republican who doesn't want to hurt Trump and supported Trump, whereas the governor of Puerto Rico was a Democrat with Trump derangement syndrome. And I don't
even think it matters if you're a Democrat or Republican, right?
Yeah.
Look at some of the Hollywood people who say, Trump's a good guy. And they're probably Democrats, but they're just like, yeah, just talk with him. He's a nice person. If you're nice to Trump, he's nice to you.
Yeah, well, it shouldn't even be a Democrat Republic thing. If your island needs help, you gotta do what's right for your people.
Yep, indeed. And is the government doing what's right for you? What do you think? You can call in at 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
When I adopted her, she was a mess. Scabs, itching, licking, missing fur, hot spots. So I get the Dinovite.
DINOVITE.com.
And the Lico Chops within a 4-week total. Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog. And she loves it.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
Dinovite for life.
DINOVITE.com.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Do you want to work from home, get paid, and forward liberty all at the same time? Free Talk Live is looking for account executives and appointment setters. If you've got a phone, a computer, internet connectivity, initiative, and a belief in the non-aggression principle, you're qualified. Earn up to $85,000 a year full-time, $25,000 a year part-time. Set your own hours, work from home, spread freedom. Join our team and work with one of the biggest leaders in the liberty movement. Apply now at sales.freetalklive.com. Sales.freetalklive.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live listen line, 641-793-0191. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, the freest show on the air, because you can call in and tell us about whatever you want. The number is 855-450-3733. And we're going to go back to our discussion on government, corona, and what should be done. But first, I want to tell you about ForkFest. Join liberty-minded voluntarists, anarchists, and libertarians from June 29th until July 5th for ForkFest 2020 at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. ForkFest happens the week after the Porcupine Freedom Festival, and ForkFest is decentralized, which means no one is in charge. That also means there's no ticket costs. Just reserve your camping, RV site, or motel room with Rogers Campground for June 29th until July 5th. Where better to celebrate Independence Day than around other freedom-loving activists in the Shire? You can simply relax and go camping with other liberty lovers, or you can create whatever experience or event you'd like others to have. If you're planning an event for ForkFest, be sure to let others know in advance. You can connect with other ForkFesters via the unofficial Telegram chat or the ForkFest forum. Links to those are on the unofficial website, forkfest.party. Forkfest.party. So yeah, I know you may be thinking, is this going to be canceled like every other libertarian event or other conference in general? And the answer is no, because there's no one to cancel it. It is a decentralized event.
You know, it'd be really cool is if everybody, made their COVID-19 PPE into something Mad Max themed and, showed up like a big, post-apocalyptic Mad Max kind of Lord Humongous, I was thinking a cod piece and a hockey mask for me would be cool. Just give us the toilet paper.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea. While you're locked in, here's a little art project for you. Get out the colored pencils and Sharpies and do some designs and maybe, post on Facebook your most creative idea.
You shouldn't write on your respirators because that can mess up the structural integrity and the ability.
Well, these are just for art purposes, not for.
Well, but we could get pretty creative. I think if everybody went out, and I know when I was a kid, I used to arrange the basement furniture like the bridge of the Starship Enterprise and kill Klingons and save the galaxy. So I stopped doing that when I was 24. I'm just kidding. I was actually 22 and a half. No, I'm just joking. Yeah. So I think we could have fun with this. I think, it reminds me, as I said, when the internet went out on Saipan and I was still married and my wife was there and she wasn't able to get on her smartphone. She goes, Davey, what do we do? Phone, internet not working. I said, we could make love. So I think that there might be a baby boom after this, which would be pretty cool.
Well, it's usually a recession is tough for baby booms, right? And I think that's a good segue into this article I saw earlier today on Yahoo News. The UN says the pandemic could shrink global economy almost 1% in 2020. Mm-hmm. And I just look at those and I just wow. They think it's going to shrink by only 1%? Where do they get these numbers from? They just pull them out of the air?
I don't think, I think economists, a lot of it's probably guesswork, but there was another couple articles I read where they're asking, like, who's going to pay for this? And there's actually a law firm in Florida that wants to sue the Chinese Communist Party. And I'm all for that. Good luck collecting, but I think that we should, there's damaged parties here, and I think.
Well, who's the damaged party, and who's
the world? And I think and as I said, I've stated this before. I'm going to stick to my guns. I believe this was a Chinese bioweapon that was accidentally released through negligence. And, it's like this. If I owned a store, or if I owned a factory in, Bhopal, India, and cyanide gas escaped my factory and killed everybody in the town, who pays? I mean, Union Carbide had to pay.
Right, but they would have to prove that you leaked the gas.
Well,
and then there would need to be a collection mechanism.
Well, hold on a second. I got an article. Hold on a second. I got an article here. And from the Epoch Times, and it says, did China's plan to destroy the United States backfire? And this is basically positing that it was a bioweapon. And then there's another person, Dr. Francis Boyle, a biological weapons expert, who basically is saying that he's the guy who wrote the Bioweapons Convention, which is international law. And Dr. Francis Boyle says that basically he's pretty much convinced that this was an engineered bioweapon. And basically the lab in Wuhan was China's a version of it was analogous. It was analogous. It was analogous to our Fort Detrick, Maryland, which is one of the United States government's biowarfare labs. So my contention is, and I think if we can prove that this was indeed.
Well, how would you prove that?
Oh, well, you could get the virus and take a look at it and see that it was genetically spliced. Apparently, several labs have done that. Also,
that seems pretty hard to prove it's spliced.
Well, also the Chinese government has put out publications, and their generals have talked about their doctrine, which includes using bioweapons based off of coronaviruses. I mean, there's a lot of details out there.
What you would need is a subpoena of the biolabs, genomes of all their diseases, which is...
Yeah.
So I think, did they do it is a question. Can you prove it? Can you collect damages, right? There's 3 different areas, and there's, even if they did it, which I'm not sure.
Yeah, how would we collect damages?
There's no way you could prove it.
I mean,
even if
technically,
you could prove it, there's no way to collect damages.
Well, technically, United States strategic doctrine is to respond to a bio attack with a nuclear strike. So I don't think that that's really a good option. Especially since our nuclear arsenal is actually old and nuclear weapons have expiration dates, and that was one of the things that I've read. There was a recent testimony in Congress from some of our strategic command people saying that, if we don't rebuild some nuclear weapons in the next couple of years, we won't have a nuclear deterrent. Now, I know a lot of libertarians out there, including myself, are not really fond of having big military spending, but we do live in a dangerous world full of people with a lot of bad intentions towards us, and deterrence is important. I mean, that's why I have guns in my house, is because I know that somebody might break into my house. I don't want to shoot somebody. So the same reason we have a Trident nuclear submarine parked out somewhere with the ability to vaporize Russia or China. We have that because Russia and China have nuclear weapons aimed at us. So it's a scary world we live in.
Indeed it is, and it'd be scarier if it is true that, Corona leaked out from a biolab in China. What do you think? Do you agree with Dave that this is a leaked bioweapon? If so, what can be done? We'd love to hear your thoughts. 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org. Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.
U.S. presidents often take credit for solving complex issues with many moving parts, whether they deserve that credit or not. But how much impact can a sitting president really have on the tides? We all know that presidents like to take credit for the undulations of the briny deep, when it suits them, that is, and we Americans are quick to blame whoever is in power for the multitudinous seas. During Eisenhower's administration in the 1950s, citizens took to the streets to protest his inability to harness the unruly waves, but Ike shifted blame for the tides that year onto a heron that had recently been born with a raven's head. But the truth is, when a president is in office, there's only so much he can do. Sure, the president can bring an amulet with the Eye of Horus to the top of the tallest peak, or spread lamb's blood on the base of an elm tree during a lunar eclipse. In reality, it's hard for anyone to know with true certainty how the tides will play out under any administration. For The Onion, I'm Eliza Hayes.
This is the Onion News Network.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
The Shire Free Church offers a sanctuary to those seeking an escape from state churches.
The Shire Free Church is an interfaith, diverse group of people that may not share identical theological beliefs. As a member in or minister of the Shire Free Church, you are a sovereign individual and may be the faith of your choice.
We don't claim to have all of the answers.
We are open to all peaceful people.
We want to learn from each other.
What unifies the Shire Free Church and its diverse members is peace,
love, and liberty. There are many paths to God, one for every individual.
The Shire Free Church does not define a specific path beyond those parameters that must be your foundation.
Peace as your way,
love as your guide,
and liberty as your light.
Learn more at church.shiresociety.com.
That's church.shiresociety.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, the freest show on the air. You can call in and tell us your thoughts, and we'd love to hear them. The number is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE, like freedom. And we've been talking about bioweapons, China, and who will pay for this. And before we get back into that, we just wanted to thank an amplifier. Brandon is a Silver Amplifier member. The AMP program stands for Amplify, Market, and Promote. As you may or may not know, Free Talk Live is on over 200 radio stations around the country. And we're doing a good thing, we believe. If you agree that we're doing a good thing, you want to spread these ideas, give a platform for people to talk about whatever they want and just, advance civilization, feel free to sign up. A silver membership is only $5 a month. That's all we're asking for to spread this to more ears. So please consider joining the Amplifier program. And thanks again, Brandon, for your support. So yeah, Dave, we were just talking about the bioweapons in China, and how do we make them pay? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I got two ideas. I got a couple ideas. One, I think we seriously need to look at getting the world to have a moratorium on bioweapons research and close down these biosafety level 4 labs. We've had a lot of leaks in the last, decades since we've really stepped up these programs. I mean, there were leaks in the United States, out in Dugway Proving Grounds in Utah back in the 60s. A bunch of sheep were affected by anthrax. And, you heard these stories about cattle mutilations. Was it UFOs? No, it was bioweapons research. We're guilty as everybody else is. There's a great book called The Hot Zone where you had in suburban Washington, D.C. at one of these labs, Ebola that, thank God, didn't affect humans, but it went through the primate population of this biolab. And so to be frank with you, biological warfare has been something that has scared the living crap out of me since I was a kid. I mean, I saw Omega Man as a kid, and I always been interested in these kind of subjects. The teachers always thought I was kind of weird because I was always talking about chemical, biological, and radiological warfare as a kid. It just happened to be I was smart and read. But so I think what we really do is we have to look at ourselves as a species and ask ourselves, why are we splicing HIV with cold viruses and putting in gain of function so that it...
Is this rhetorical, or
Well, I'm going off the data that I've read from this Francis Boyle guy and a couple other bioweapons experts there.
Well, I think bioweapons are perhaps the best weapon of war. And
I think they're the worst.
Say, you want to take back an area, capture all the resources and productive capacity.
Yeah.
If you do a traditional war, you're going to destroy so much infrastructure. But if you have a bioweapon, you vaccinate all your soldiers, decimates the population.
And then your weapon mutates and that vaccine doesn't work anymore and it blows back on your population and it's hard to control a bioweapon.
It can be, but if you did it in the right way, say
what's the right way? I mean, as I said, I'm not trying to sit here and say I'm the expert here, but I've gone through a lot of
you blockade them, right? If there's no way in or out, say like Taiwan, Hong Kong, some island, you blockade them. Any plane or boat, you just shoot it down. You launch your one missile with a bioweapon or some delivery.
And you miss one of those planes, and then next thing you know, you got a worldwide pandemic.
No, because you tell the world, wherever this plane lands, you better hazmat it because there's potential to spread. That would be a much more effective strategy of taking an island than anything else I can think of.
Well, to quote Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park, life finds a way. You cannot control biological warfare. You can't. It's too difficult to control them. And I think the people, the death
How
science.
Is it
well, as I said, life finds a way. Things mutate.
But you need to have a host.
Yeah, you got vectors all over the place. And, the thing is after World War II, the Japanese did a lot of bioweapons research on the Chinese population with plague, tularemia, and botulism, all these different things. They did this on the Chinese population, and then after the war, a guy named General Shiro Ishii, who ran Unit 721 in Harbin, was hired by the United States government, along with a lot of the Nazi scientists, through Operation Paperclip, and then we started working with these guys creating these demon weapons. And the thing is, I disagree with you, Alex. I know where you're coming from as far as like the effect. Yeah, we want to keep infrastructure. I mean, I'm totally aware.
Why wouldn't you say we? Right? I'm not advocating.
No. Well,
the use. I'm just saying if we're looking at it like pragmatically and just like saying, okay, objectively, but if someone were to want to conquer a territory or wage a war, to use a weapon that doesn't have the collateral damage is probably lower. Right, if you put
collateral
a price,
damage as far as infrastructure and buildings, but collateral damage on like the human race. No, I know where you're coming from, and there's different arguments, and one of the reasons why it's not as widely used because it's such a terrible weapon, and the reason why
it's not used because if it becomes common use, we're all doomed. That's why it's not used.
Right. So I think
same reason nukes aren't used.
Yeah, in chemical weapons. I mean, one of the reasons why Hitler never used nerve gas, which the Nazis invented, Tauben, VX, and GB, the reason they didn't use it on our troops at Normandy was because Hitler himself was gassed during World War I and realized that if he used it on us, we would use it on the German people. So they actually didn't do it. But if you ever watch Saving Private Ryan, or you look at the Allied troops landing on Normandy, they have this cloth thing on their uniform. That's supposed to be change color when they get hit with a chemical agent.
But I think it goes back. You say we need a deterrence with nukes, right? Why don't we need a bioweapon deterrence?
Well, I think we all should
make the next Hitler think twice in terms of.
Well, what I think is what we need to do is to take this example of it, how it blows back on the world, and take a step back and maybe re-examine.
Will the U.S. stop making bioweapons?
Well, I think we all should.
Will they though?
That's a good question, but
I would say they won't.
It's a question.
China won't, as a result. Russia won't. So it's a kind of a game theory type problem where we would need to go first.
Yeah.
The American government would need to say we're going to stop doing this.
Yeah.
And to stop doing it when everyone else is doing it is tricky. Right? I kind of prefer deterrence than actual war. I prefer the U.S. to say we have all these deadly weapons that if we're unleashed would destroy us all.
Right.
Therefore, let's all be peaceful and stop all our foreign interventions, stop everything. And if we could cut down our arsenal to nukes, bioweapons, and delivery methods, I think it would be a better world. The ideal world would be we didn't need any of them at all. But at the current moment, it seems we're quite far from there. As long as we have all of these mega, superpower states, it's far off.
Well, for some reason, I'm thinking of the Star Trek episode Omega Glory, where the Combs and the Yangs had a bio war, and then later on, Captain Kirk had to come down and teach people the Constitution. Great episode. But as far as who pays for it, if it can be proved that it was a bioweapon from the Chinese, my thought is we could possibly say, well, China, we owe you so much, we're not going to pay back that amount of debt and offset our debt that way. But I don't know, that could cause problems too. It's just a talking point.
What do you think? Is it a bioweapon? What should be done if it is? Should we find a creative way to hold China responsible, even if it risks our financial system? Let us know. 855-450-3733. Free Talk Live.
Do you feel like many of us? All the distractions in the world taking our minds and focus off what really needs to get done day to day? Well, Jeunesse has a dietary supplement called Mind to help with mental distraction, and it supports memory function. Go to gcnlife.com now to check it out. You're only at your best when your mind is at its best. Go to gcnlife.com or call toll-free 844-443-6637. That's gcnlife.com or 844-443-6637.
Now, with orders to stay at home, public health concerns, the reality of illness due to pathogens and viruses, your health is at an all-time high risk. That's why it's critical to take a proactive approach to boost your immune system. You can with new nano-colloidal silver from Americare, our patented process with tiny silver particles, 1/100th the size of a red blood cell, allows for maximum body absorption. Americare's nano-colloidal silver effectively disinfects your body internally, attacking pathogens and viruses while supercharging your immune system. Colloidal silver is antibacterial and antiviral. Simply put, it prohibits bacterial respiration, suffocating viral cells, preventing the virus from replicating. And now, due to public health concern, Americare is authorized to offer our lowest and best price ever, around $1 a day, but supplies are limited. Purchase nano-colloidal silver now at immunesupportnow.com. That's immunesupportnow.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Supplies are limited.
Hi, I'm Dan Pilla. I started fighting the IRS over 40 years ago when they tried to seize my mother's house. I sued the IRS and won. I beat the IRS then, and I've been beating them ever since. I wrote the book on tax debt settlement, and I've helped thousands of people deal with tax problems they thought might never be solved. I can help you too. If you owe taxes you can't pay, don't wait another day. There's no such thing as a hopeless tax case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX or go to my website, danpilla.com. That's danpilla.com, danpilla.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can call in and talk about whatever you want. The number is 855-450-3733. And we're going to go straight to the phones. We have James in Arizona. James, are you there?
Yeah, thanks for finally taking me on, Alex, on supposedly the freest show on the airwaves, where
Hi, James.
Your calls come first. Hi, David. Because this really hasn't ever been a conversational format with me and you, because Alex always dumps my call, and then you guys go on and talk about what I've had to say without me being able to respond. I should like to make...
Well, have you ever thought about why we don't keep you on after you make... We let you make
David,
your point, right? Which
like
is more...
Alex, I have never spoken to you ever until like a couple weeks ago. So when you speak about somebody else, don't. Speak to me. My beef isn't with you, except for that you have spoken out of both sides of your mouth since I've listened to you on the public airwaves. So speak to me and don't speak for somebody else. Okay? Let me respond to something David said about, hey, David,
Yeah, go ahead,
I
man.
want to make sure that you know I could literally care less about the hundreds of millions of peaceful Muslims on this earth, just as I could care less about the silly belief of thousands of peaceful, productive Mormons that live in my hood and around me. I don't care about that. Okay? But the only reason why I wouldn't have made like Gabriel Princip on a deck of an aircraft carrier if I met the Don of the worst crime family on planet Earth, who literally has the entire Saudi Arabian peninsula still stuck in the 70s, the 770s, that is, because of a stupid book that his family has convinced millions of people that it is based on a true story. Not to mention
pause for just one moment. Hold on. Just to clarify what James is talking about.
Alex,
James, you're on hold.
Yeah.
James is talking about Dave met the King of Saudi Arabia on a Navy ship, and
it was a
James,
guided missile frigate, by the way.
James
not
called
a carrier.
in last week to say what he thought about that, and we discussed it, and now he's calling back again.
Well, Alex,
Right,
would you like me to have a conversation with the guy? Because I'd like to.
But we need to clarify so people know. So
Okay.
James, you're back on.
Okay.
You here?
Well, James, here's a couple of questions. How old are you now? And I'm almost 50. How old are you?
What matter does that mean? But I'm
No, a lot of it has to do with it because no. Can you spoke? Hey, sir, James. I'm respecting you, man. I got no beef with you.
Get to your point.
Well, my point is when I met King Fowd, I was an 18-year-old deck seaman just fresh out of high school.
Can I interrupt? I already know that, and the audience that listens to the show already knows that. I'm not saying that you should have executed a tyrant. That's what I would have done. But I wouldn't have.
How do you know what you would have done?
That would have been my first instance to want to execute a tyrant. But I wouldn't have wanted to start an unholy war because millions of people would have thought because I'm white and from the West.
Yeah.
That would have.
Have you ever been in the military?
No, but David. I just wanted to make something clear to you. I don't call the king of Saudi Arabia a Muslim. That's disgusting offense to people that actually are devout Muslims and good people. So but I didn't call you in to talk about that, David, because I just wanted to respond to all the Shiite I heard you and a despicable human being that I do have a beef with, Alex, who didn't dox me because I was threatening his family. I was doxxed long before Mark Edgy.
Okay. I know you've got an issue with Mark. You don't have an issue with. You don't have an issue with me.
I'm responding to things that were said about me on the public airways that I never got to respond to.
What? But you're addressing.
Cowards and liars that you hang out with. Dump my call and then crap.
I get it.
By my full name on the public airways, and then they call me angry. Oh, great. That's classic. The head.
Well, here's the thing.
David, I want to talk to you about your nutty beliefs about the coronavirus. Not to mention, if you had had any sense, you would have said that to Alex, if it's so easy to declare a biological warfare, if China just did what you said that all they need to do about shooting planes and all that, well, giving you
I'm saying this is what it might be.
China created. Why haven't they already done what Alex so brightly said about all they need to do on the public airways? Why haven't they already won the biological war?
Well, if you would listen, if you would listen and if you would listen to what I had said, you would understand that my point from the very beginning was that I don't believe that what they.
Which way the wind blows.
Can you shut the heck up for a second and listen once in a while instead of talking? You might learn something.
I hung on for 10 minutes.
You're talking right now. You ask me a question and then you're interrupting me.
Say what you want to say.
Okay.
And then let me respond.
I said from the very beginning that I don't believe that they were ready and this thing got leaked before it was finished. I think it was an accidental release of something they were working on. Okay? That's my point.
Okay. But
also, just to
retort to what you've already said and just said again, was if Alex was so bright, and why isn't the Chinese government bright enough to do what Alex said? And by the way,
because they haven't because they weren't ready
they
weren't ready cooking up the virus they wanted to use on us.
By the way, I wholeheartedly reject that belief that you have based on an Epoch Times article. Therefore, they say it.
You're perfectly free. You're perfectly free. You're perfectly free to reject that. And you're also perfectly free to talk. You're also perfectly free to talk
when
about.
You guys are both talking over each other.
Yeah,
I have to put you on hold.
Well, here's the thing, Mister. I have never been in the military. You're telling me, oh, if I was on the ship, I would have beat up the King of Saudi Arabia. Well, you never were in the military. You have no idea what the hell you're talking about. And I think that you're kind of just basically trying to I don't know, you got to be with some. Maybe you just need to get laid. I don't know what your problem is, but God bless you. I don't dislike you, but I don't think you know what you're talking about either. And I hope you have a happy and long life. I don't disagree.
Thanks for the call, James.
God bless you, James.
If you want to be on for longer, you need to learn to conversate better, right?
Yeah.
We're willing. You come in with a lot of attitude, a lot of drama, and we're still willing to take your call, which is why we're arguably the freest show in the air.
Yeah.
And we're going to go to the next caller right now.
Have a drink.
Jane, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi.
All right, let's hear what you have.
Pardon me?
What's on your mind?
Hello.
Oh, I'm not really down with I haven't really given a lot of thought to biological warfare. I just hope that that's not true. But I was thinking, in South Korea, the super spreader event was a 61-year-old who went to a lot of services at the Temple of the Tabernacle of the Testimony Church.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm thinking, we're a free country, and if you want to go worship and you want to continue to go to church, I think it would be really great if you wanted to, I don't want to judge your faith or anything, but that you would sign a waiver that says you'll pass on a ventilator in an ICU bed, either as a testimony of your faith or just being accountable to the rest of us who maybe don't have that strong a faith in God, but we'd like to live another 10 years.
I'll give you a libertarianish response. Is that so? You're saying they're potentially taking resources from others, right? It's like they're acting recklessly, perhaps, and thus taking resources and harming society as a whole. Is that the core of your argument, and that they should have more accountability?
I think it might be the core that. Well, yes, but I also don't want to be judging them. They could be right, and they could have this faith that helps them not get the virus.
Yeah, and I think a libertarian might say that the whole system is designed with perverse incentives that if you're sick, other people pay, so there's no reason for you to take your health and your actions and connect the two. So we've created generations and generations raised in this environment that don't feel they should pay for their consequences and don't think about how their consequences affect others. Probably in a more libertarian world, there'd be some liability for infecting other people recklessly and negligently. So I think that would be a good long-term solution if we were to change the way the system were designed. But in the short term, I think you bring up a very good point that if they were to sign that type of waiver, I think they should make exemptions in states where they lock down religious ceremonies.
They'll explain that make exemptions where they lock them down. But
yeah, thank you very much for the call. We're out of time for today. You can join us any day, 7 from 10 p.m. Eastern Time. This is Free Talk Live.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had gotten involved sooner? Well, now is your chance to be part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, The Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream, for everyone to use it in everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that's as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more, and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
The latest episode of Questioning Authority is next after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,628, silver at $14.41, and Bitcoin is trading around $6,702. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/freekratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, according to a new report from the New York Times, Americans bought nearly 2 million guns last month as the country slowly went into lockdown. Activist Post reports it's the second highest sales numbers ever seen in the U.S. for firearms, surpassed only by the January after then U.S. President Barack Obama's re-election, which was also when the Sandy Hook shooting occurred. And while more guns were sold in January 2013, the numbers are actually extremely close, with roughly 2 million guns sold during each time period. The data used in the report from the Times was based on the number of background checks reported by the FBI. So it's likely that the actual numbers are even higher, because background checks are not required in every state. The FBI has been tracking monthly gun sales in the U.S. since 1998. This week, U.S. President Donald Trump included gun stores, shooting ranges, and firearm and ammunition manufacturers in a list of essential businesses that can remain open during the lockdown. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. There were dramatic scenes at an airport in Shanghai, China, as U.S. agents hijacked a plane full of life-saving equipment, including 60 million masks, bound for coronavirus-stricken France. While the plane was on the tarmac, American agents managed to bribe locals into diverting the plane to the United States, plying them with cash. Minpress News reports it appears to not be an isolated incident. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau revealed that he had received similar reports of goods being seized and taken to the United States. Brazil, one of the U.S.'s most loyal allies, also broke with convention to criticize the Trump administration's pandemic gangsterism. President Trump spent weeks claiming that the virus was a liberal hoax, intended to dent his credibility, then downplayed the seriousness of the problem. before changing tack and blaming China for the thousands of dead. Amidst a COVID-19 outbreak, around 100 detained migrants at a private for-profit prison in Farmville, Virginia, have collectively gone on hunger strike, demanding their release on medical and humane grounds. MinPress News reports that's according to Sanctuary DMV, a volunteer organization helping immigrants in the Washington, D.C. area.